Welcome back to the channel. Now, how many subby homages can a watch collection really take? Let's spice it up today with a Yacht Master. Pagani design PD1651 is a bold and striking homage to the rose gold Yacht Master 40mm. This watch is stunning to look at. The rose gold color is well assigned, tinging towards the bronze look. The rose is toned down by a fine lateral brushing on top of the case to tone down the sparkle. This is actually the version 2 of this beautiful watch. So the version 1 actually got a 60-click bezel. This one gets a 120-click ceramic insert. With the version 2 we get sapphire crystal. We get a see-through case back, 100 meters of water resistance, screw down case back, signed crown, and loads more. One of the key niceties about this particular watch is the price. So we all know that Aliexpress prices, especially across the different online stores, do vary quite a bit. Well, I still managed to get this piece for just 58 bucks. It's almost too low, considering I've seen other stores selling it for as high as 90 to 100 bucks. So 60 bucks and under, I think that's a sharp price, and I will be leaving a link to the listing I got this watch from in the description below the video, so make sure to check it out if you want a sharp price. Now we really need to get into the review of this watch. There's a lot to talk about. The dial is great, the bezel is very interesting, the color, the aesthetics, the strap, the case, there's a lot to cover. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Now I know I need to be impartial, but this piece is a stunner. The case is made from solid stainless steel. The slab of the watch lies flat on top of your wrist. Considering the lug-to-lug length is minimal due to the silicone strap, there is no overhang even on my 6.5-inch wrist. With the dimensions, we get a 40.5mm diameter, the lug-to-lug length 47.1mm, the height is 12.5mm, and the weight with the silicone strap is 105 grams. With the bracelet, I would imagine it to be closer to the 150-160 grams. On the sides, the case is evenly polished, creating a seamless look. As we transition to the top of the dial, we notice the fine lateral brushing, stretching from under the bezel all the way down to the bottom of the lugs. The bevels between the case walls and the top side are smooth, yet have the sculpted angular look as well. The brushing on top of the case is very fine, almost satin-like. The bezel is stunning to look at, with plenty of facets, materials, and brushing styles. The edge of the bezel has radial brushing, but the grooves are chiseled out and polished. We get a black ceramic insert here, which is matte black around the circumference and has raised polished numerals and indices that catch the light and give a bit of life to the matte finish. We get a signed screw-in crown. The crown is larger than average, and that makes it so easy to unscrew and adjust the date and time. The threading here is quite fine, and still it plays with the whole aesthetic of the watch. On the case back, we get a see-through screw-down case back. The crystal here is mineral glass, so no sapphire sandwich. The case back has the specs on the perimeter. The crystal opens up the view to an undecorated movement. Nothing spectacular, but a nice touch. As we can see, I picked up the silicone strap with the watch. You can actually get the steel bracelet, but I thought there's only so much rose gold effect my eyes can take. Also, the original Yacht Master also came on a strap. Even though the strap is meaty, it's soft and flexible. The underside is textured, so you don't get stretches and pulls on the wrist. While the outer shell gets minimal styling. And that's probably a good thing. The classic watch type buckle clasp is milled, signed, with vertical brushing, and of course the rose gold effect. The layers of the watch are very well defined. The case overall is crisp and quite distinctive, and considering that the thickness of the watch is just 12.5mm, the watch looks, feels, and actually wears like a much more expensive piece. The bezel is a 120-click unidirectional ceramic insert. The angular grooves on the side of the bezel are not smooth to a slippery edge. The grip is very comfortable, and that is due to the, I can't say crude, not quite sharp, but not very smooth edges. The rotation action is paralleled with a pleasant metal ratchet sound as you go through the clicks. Resistance is even throughout the turning cycle, although there is some playback between clicks. It's not a showstopper though. The good thing about this bezel is that it does actually align to the 12 o'clock position. With the dial, we get a glossy piano finish with a relatively subdued sunburst effect. The indices are applied, aged in rose chrome. Lume is applied thickly. The result is a very legible dial in the dark. The Mercedes-style hands and the lollipop seconds pointer are also finished in rose gold styling. That, in combination with the lume inserts, provides suitable contrast against the black dial. The minute track is on the edge of the dial, leaning against the angled rehaut, which is also brushed, but still provides some unique reflections. All other text is printed on the dial, also in the rose gold color, which fits perfectly to this crisp and almost symmetrical dial. I say almost symmetrical because there is a date window at the 3 o'clock position. And this is probably the only part in the watch which I think is slightly off. So the Cyclops that we get here, it gives you a magnification of at least 3 times. So it's just slightly too much magnified. Usually it's not enough. This one is slightly overkill, but it's just slightly off. Considering this watch looks amazing, well, you can't have everything perfect in such a low price package, right? Let's keep going. In regards to the crystal, well, we get sapphire crystal here with anti-reflective coating, and that makes the dial so much more legible. But again, considering we do have a black dial with high contrast hands on here, it's not a problem telling the time at basically any light conditions. Also, we get a see-through case back, and as I mentioned, it's actually not sapphire. This is just mineral glass on the back here. So once again, no sapphire sandwich, but for 58 bucks, so far, so good. With the movement, we get the NH35 from Seiko. So this is quite an accurate and dependable movement. The variants you should be expecting are -20 to +40 seconds on a daily basis. You do get 41 hours of power reserve with this movement. Also, it takes 55 full manual winds off the crown to get you fully wound up. But considering there is the Seiko magic lever in this mechanism, that means that when you shake this watch side to side, it should get it moving straight away. Another positive here is that this movement is actually hackable, and that means that when you adjust or set the time, the seconds hand actually stops. Now it's time to sum up my experience with the Pagani design PD1651. Well, what can I say? It's a stunning looking watch. It is. And I know I should be impartial, and I'm trying to be. But the fact is, it is a beautiful watch. There are some downfalls. For example, the Cyclops, which is magnifying way too much. Apart from that, really, the rose gold effect is not too rosy. It's actually tinging towards the bronze side. I love the fact that on the top side you get very fine brushing. It's not satin, it is actual lateral brushing, but it is very fine and it subdues that rose sparkle. Also the bezel, it's wide, it's matte black with some of the raised numerals and other indices that are highly polished. It just creates a very unique effect. Also the strap. This is a silicone strap. It's light. Well, the clasp is actually signed. It just goes really well with almost anything. It's very sporty, yet very stylish. So it could be almost a dress watch because of the attention-grabbing, well, features of this watch. Anyways, I have left the links to the listing I got this watch from in the description below the video. Once again, 58 bucks. That's a very sharp price, so make sure to check that link out. Thanks for watching the review. If you have enjoyed it, please drop me a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to hit that red subscribe button just below. And I'll see you in the next one.